Hey guys, Dr. Cummings from Point Loma. This is the Canvas page for our BIO3015 course. This doesn't include the lab. I'll do a separate video for the lab, but I just want to show you around the Canvas page for our course. Now this looks slightly different than yours because I'm the creator of the course, right? I have admin access, so it says things like publish, unpublish, import. Ignore all that stuff, but for the most part, this is what yours is going to look like as well. So here's the home page, right? Log into Canvas. You find the little square thing, I think they call it a card, and you click on it and it should launch it and look similar to this. You won't be able to edit it, but you'll have your index on the left here of different options. Picture of my mug, my name, my email address. I would start on this first page, go to the Meet Your Instructor and read what you want about me there. Course syllabus is on here as well, both a downloadable version and just a text like HTML style version. The formatting's a little wonky, but if you don't want to have to download a PDF, you can do that. Almost everything in this class is going to happen in the modules, so pay close attention to the modules. We'll get to that in a minute. If you need to schedule a one-on-one appointment with me, like not the group, we have these Monday group appointments I've been talking about during our class time at 11 a.m. on Zoom every single Monday. Those are optional except for the very first week. The first week on the 17th is required. After that, they become optional. In addition to that time, if you want a one-on-one time with me, there are 30-minute appointments available here. You click on that, you'll see all the appointments coming up that are available. Find one that fits your schedule and sign up for it. You put your name on it, it sends me a note and goes into my calendar that we have a Zoom meeting. My only warning is that if you do this at the last minute, there's a good chance I will have already scheduled other things during that window. Usually what happens is the night before I look at my calendar for the next day and I arrange things, etc. So if you can do your best to sign up for these one-on-one sessions at least 24 hours in advance, then I can be much more certain to be able to not have a conflict with my schedule there. If you want to buy the e-text version of the book, there are instructions here. What I really like about the e-text, for one thing, it's cheaper than the hardcover book. And the other things, it comes with all kinds of study tools, videos and practice quizzes and all kinds of stuff. You don't have to have it if you've got a hard copy. Just stick with it. You don't have to purchase access. I know a lot of times, a lot of classes, you buy the book and you buy an access code to get to all the online stuff. You don't have to. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to. If you buy the e-text, you get access to everything and your book is cheaper. So it's a great idea. If you haven't already bought a hard copy of the book, you can download it there. And then the Sanford Guide to Antimicrobial Therapy, we're going to need starting around the 1st of October. So make sure you've got that. It's an app. It's $30 normally, and you follow these instructions here, and there's a code that gets you 40% off. So I think it ends up being like $18, $19, $20, whatever 40% of $30 is. I think that's I think 60% of it is $18. So not expensive and not slow, right? You can buy it on your phone or your tablet or even your laptop quickly and have access to it quickly when the time comes. Now, where is most of the action going to happen? It's going to happen in modules. Here's the syllabus real quick. You can see a download spot here for the syllabus, and then all the content here that we went through in the syllabus video. If you haven't watched that yet, I recommend you do. Modules is where all the fun happens. There are several modules set up in this class based on weeks. I'm going to show you the first 4 because only the first 4 are going to be released to you, and typically only a few weeks at a time are going to be released to you. I don't want it to get overwhelming, but the first 4 weeks are here, and they're labeled week 1 through week 4, and you're just going to literally march through them and pay close attention to what's required each of those weeks. At the end of week 4, if you're watching your syllabus, you'll see that we have an exam. So weeks 1 through 4 are really prepping you and getting you ready for that first exam. Now start here with important course information. A couple things that you need. This Introduce Yourself is actually an assignment, and it's due by midnight on Tuesday the 18th. So make sure that you plop in here and do this introduction. It's worth 5 points. Edit your Canvas profile. You pop a picture in there. You talk about yourself a little bit, etc. And this helps people to get to know one another via Canvas. That's worth 1 point, so please get that done right away. I think that's due on Monday, actually. Required resources is just the list of things you need to buy, the books and such. Student resources, this is helpful. None of this is required, but if you're having IT problems, call these guys or reach out to IT resources. Disability Resource Center and tutorial services here. Wellness Center, counseling services, medical services. We now have something called Loma Care that you've probably heard of, which is awesome. It's telehealth appointments, both medical and mental health appointments on your phone, right? They can be visual or holding up to your ear the old-fashioned way. But these are great, and they are available to you as Point Loma students. Strongly recommend you take advantage of these different resources. Just want you to know that they're there for you. What else in important course information? Honesty and integrity. You need to read this saying, I'm not going to cheat, and here's why. And then you've got a digital signature. That's your word promising me you're going to do everything by the book. This is due Monday by midnight, also worth a point. So you've got a couple things coming up, right? Monday, you need to do honesty and integrity signature. You need to do your Canvas profile. By Tuesday, you got to do this little introduce yourself activity. Watch these study techniques videos. Dr. Wolburn put these together. Man, I wish I had this when I was an undergrad. There is some great stuff in here. You might be thinking, oh, well, I'm a junior or senior. I've figured it all out. Maybe you have, but maybe you spend 10 minutes and you pick up some little nugget that just changes everything for you. For many of you, you're going to be, hopefully all of you will be lifelong learners, but for many of you, you're going to be students for a while still. You're going on to med school, grad school, PA school, whatever else you're going to do next, and you're going to continue to need to build your study skills. Take the time to watch these videos and read the content that Dr. Wilburn put together here. It's really well done. By August 21st, I want you to take the HonorLock practice quiz. I know some of you got to use HonorLock back in the spring, not everybody. This just lets you sort out any little bugs, make sure the camera's working right, etc. But this needs to be done by August 21st. So sometime in that window, sit down, take the practice quiz, knock it out. That'll help you make sure your computer's all set up before we get to our first exam, whenever that happens to be, at the end of week 4, whatever that date is. And there's another copy of our syllabus. Man, that syllabus is everywhere. Okay, now, week 1, how do you actually march through the content of the class? Open up the module and look over the whole setup first. Okay, you can see there's an overview where you're going to start. There are some sets of video lectures, one set on viruses, one set on eukaryotic pathogens. And this will also remind you what chapters you want to be studying and reading. By the way, the reading guides that are the checklists that tell you precisely what you're responsible for in each of the chapters are always found in the overview section. You can download them right up there in the overview section. And so as you do your reading, you want to have those reading guides in front of you. I'll show you that in a minute. We've got our synchronous Zoom sessions. You've got the first office hours on Monday the 17th are required. After that, they become optional, and the Zoom link is there. And the live class time is always required, so do your best to make all of those. And then there's going to be an activity we're going to work on together for 2 weeks. So it says week 1 and 2. We're going to work on that both weeks 1 and 2 during the Wednesday live office hours. It's going to be worth 15 points. You'll turn it in the second Wednesday, so the Wednesday of week 2, but you'll get started on it the Wednesday of week 1. So let's look at each of these. So you've got a sense of what we're doing for the whole week. You click the overview, and these overviews will always look somewhat similar. Here's one of my kids. The overviews will always look somewhat similar, right? You'll have the topic, microbial architecture, viruses, and then fungi, protozoa, and helminths, the eukaryotic pathogens, and then bacteria and archaea. And remember, bacteria is where we're going to spend a lot of time this semester. Here are your 2 reading guides. Chapter 8 covers viruses and their replication. You don't have to know everything in Chapter 8. Follow the reading guide. Check mark things as you've studied them. And remember, don't just read like you're reading a Harry Potter novel. Read for the sake of retaining, studying. Engage with it interactively, right? Highlight, underline, take notes, whatever you've got to do. And then here's what you need from Chapter 2, microbial cell structure and function. Here's a list of the videos. These videos are all embedded in the modules. but I wanted to have a separate list of them for you. Don't freak out when you see that some of them say BIO2020. I've stolen a lot of my videos that I'd already prepared for my lower division micro class, and I'm leveraging them so I didn't have to re-record a whole lot of things for you guys that just would have killed me. Learning outcomes. I have some specific goals that I want you to learn this week. It turns out that because everything's in 2-week chunks, the learning outcomes are going to be the same for week 1 and 2, and then week 3 and 4 will have the same, and then weeks 5 and 6 will have the same, and so on. So take a look at these. It's worth knowing. Again, it's like looking at a map. It's worth knowing where we're going. Learn the structure and replication cycles of viruses. Know that ahead of time before you dive into the reading and the videos. Learn the structures of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Learn about common eukaryotic pathogens. These are the things you're going to be focused on. Required resources, it's almost always just going to say Brock. And then it tells you about how many hours I think it should take for you to knock out this week's work. I'm aiming all semester for 9 hours a week. That's my goal. That includes the time that we're together synchronously, and then obviously lots of time on your own studying. Now you can do 2 things. You can click Next, which is off screen here, and it'll just take you to the next module, Week 1 Viruses, or you can go back to your modules here where you see the whole list of them and then click on the next one that you want to work on. But if you're ready to dive into viruses, you read a little bit about it here, and you can see there are a bunch of short videos on viruses. Remember, we would have had an hour or so of lecture 3 times a week. These lectures have all been broken up into 10 to 15-minute videos covering the content to help you focus and help you understand a lot of the concepts. They've got a title to them like Intro to Viruses. You click on them here and it really ought to show it to you right here. If you ever do need to go over to my YouTube page for whatever reason, you can go there as well. And so here's where you're going to find all that video content. If you click Next, it'll take you to the next module, and that's our fungi, protozoa, and helminths. A little more information about these guys. And then here's eukaryotic cells, their architecture and genome, and then some overviews of the 3 main types of eukaryotic pathogens, some examples of them, diseases they cause, etc. You want to do this kind of overview that we're doing right now, scanning through the whole week before you jump in. Okay, then we got a section on required office hours, or the first one's required, optional after that. Here's your Zoom meeting. Go ahead and click that link and you can launch it right from there. Or if you like to see everything all at once, you can go to Zoom and you'll see them all laid out there and you can click it from there. And I think it should also be on the course calendar that's part of Canvas. And the link is in your Google Calendar because I sent you all a Google invite. So there should be lots of places for you to be able to find this. And then there's the required live class. It looks exactly the same, but of course this is going to be on Wednesdays at 11, and here's your Zoom link there. So lots of places for you to find that. If we go back to our modules, these last couple of minutes, I'm going to close out week 2, and I'm going to show you that things changed just slightly. Pardon me, that was week 1. They changed just slightly in week 2, where we've got just different content. So you'd start here with your overview. You're going to find your reading guides there. And then we're going to head into our video lectures. That looks like a little bonus link there for no good reason. Here's your video lectures, a set on bacteria, a set comparing the archaea to the bacteria. Your synchronous Zoom sessions are here. And then here's your activity again that we started back in week 1. You can still find it in week 2, and you can see the instructions for how to complete it. It's going to be in a Google Doc. You've got on that Wednesday that we're working on at the 26th, you're going to have a due date of midnight. You and your partners need to finish it up, and then on Thursday I'm going to begin grading them, so you won't have time to continue working on those. But you can see how these are organized. 2 more weeks then on bacterial growth, then we'll take an exam and we'll move into the later sections. So I hope this is helpful. I'm looking to see if there's anything else in here you would need to see. If you look at Zoom, that can be a helpful way to look at all the various Zoom calls that are scheduled. If you look at the course calendar, that can be helpful. The syllabus, you saw where that was going to take you. I will send out announcements pretty often, so keep an eye out for those. I think they send you an email as well as posting it on Canvas. But that's the main way, actually, I'm going to communicate with you for the rest of the semester once this class goes live. It won't be just through the Point Loma email. It'll be through Canvas announcements. And then there's a record of all the things that we've talked about. And then modules. This is going to be where all the action happens. So hopefully this makes sense to you. If you have questions, let me know. Shoot me an email or You can bring your questions on Monday to the first office hours session, the only one that's required. All right, guys, I'm going to see you on Monday. Be sure you watch the syllabus video. You've already watched this video, and there's one more video you need to watch, and that is on the Canvas page for the lab for this class. I'll see you then.